So, welcome, Lecture 0, the limits to growth, sustainability, and the circular economy. Sorry that the camera is not following me. Sorry for the 1 week delay. I hope you did not suffer too much. So you can hear my voice is still not perfect yet, but I hope that it's sufficient for this lecture week. The bad news is it doesn't really affect our lecture schedule because I was planning one backup lecture anyway. So we'll still be able to cover all the nice content that we prepared for you. Today, 2 parts. First, work stuff. Exercises, when is the exam, how is the course structured, what are you supposed to learn, and all this fancy stuff. And then cut, and then we start with the first introduction lecture. Today's, we won't have a proper Q&A or exercise session because there is not really any exercise that you have done yet. If there are any questions, happy to answer those, but we can also try to answer some questions right in this lecture. Just keep in mind, we record this. So if you don't want your question on the recording, then you have to wait for the Q&A session. We won't record the Q&A sessions, just so that you have an opportunity to ask all the questions you want without having to think about whether this will remain on the internet forever. So you can ask questions during the lecture, but then it will be in the recording. Good. Let's get started. First part that you will notice is that all our slides and all our material has this license note there because we put all our material as open source freely available on the internet. You can get the slides, you can get the exercises, you can get the videos, you can get the MOOC content, whatever that is. You can get everything online in our repository and do whatever you want with that. That's pretty much the philosophy of what our research group is doing with everything. Everything goes open source, heavy opponent of patents because they keep humanity back. So, who's doing that? The guy without a beard was me before. I have to do a new image eventually at some point. Some of you who are in the live audience have just seen Anand as well. He just left because he's playing with a new toy that we got in our research group. And there is Teresa joining us. Those two will support me. Anand's doing his PhD in our research group. And Teresa can probably say 1 or 2 words about herself in a second. So please.
Yeah, sure. Hello from me to everybody as well. My name is Teresa. Like Benjamin said, I'm also working in the research group. I am a political and social scientist, so I have a little bit of a different background. And for this course, I am mostly doing a little bit behind the scenes stuff. So Benjamin is going to do most of the lectures, but I worked on a lot of the MOOC content that we will also introduce to you now and also during the semester. And also you can reach me via email or I will answer questions there, but I will be a little bit in the background managing some of the course content.
Thank you. So, a few words about our research group. I think some of you have already seen a little bit of a teaser presentation that I gave in the context with Hannes' lecture, but we probably didn't really tell a lot of details about what we do. So we are called the Emerging Technologies for the Circular Economy Group, which you could also just translate how can you use digital technologies or digital stuff to do something more sustainable. So we're working at this intersection of IT and sustainability, and it often poses the question whether IT is really helping or rather hurting the sustainability aspects. Wouldn't it make more sense to shut down all the AI stuff because it consumes a lot of energy, costs a lot of resources? So which AI or computer sciencey solutions really make sense and which of them are utter nonsense in context of sustainability is one of those things we are concerned with. We're also talking a lot about circular economy as part of this course. It's also the overarching theme of your university and one of the major research topics that we are concerned with. And we're also doing some kind of a legacy thing, also self-organized, decentralized, and distributed systems. Blockchain has been a part of that before, not the how do I scam people with cryptocurrency part of blockchain, but the more interesting part. And then we also worked on something that's called the machine to everything economy, where you essentially have smart machines, not as stupid as this smartphone, even though it's called smart, but really smart machines who have to for example, or who can do business among each other or business with you, and then have to, for example, cover the living costs. So the autonomous car that owns itself and has to pay for the next battery charge or for the next maintenance service, offering you to transport you to the train station so that you can make it back in time to your math tutorial, and thereby getting enough money to pay for whatever it has to pay for. This was something that we also did in the past. Something that Anand is very much focused on is idea about the ground-up formation of sustainability projects. So let's say after this course or after this lecture, you are really into sustainability, you want to do something, and then you're like, okay, how do I start something? What do I do? There are like groups that exist, maybe that you like them, maybe not, maybe you would like to do something more local. And whenever you go to one of those large existing organizations, entities, groups, and you ask them, like, how did you start? You either get no answer or a very complicated answer or answers that you cannot really replicate. For example, if you go to a lot of those eco villages where they try to prototype sustainable lifestyles, you often get the answer like, yeah, we started by buying this village at a certain point in time. And you're like, how do I buy a village? First of all, it's super expensive. And second of all, it's rarely happening that villages are for sale. So it's not really something you can replicate. So those kind of things, how can you do that without being lucky, is something that Anand is also concerned with. We're also offering other courses. Requirements engineering is running in parallel for everyone who's interested. Usually it's a master's science, computer science course, but you can also do it as a bachelor student if you like. It's not that complicated. And then in the summer semester, we have the emerging technologies for the circular economy course, which is essentially a combination of sustainability. You will find some of those topics that you learn here in that course as well, IoT, and a little bit of blockchain in this extra course. You can also go to our website and find more information about what we're doing. You'll find all the course materials there, but also, once you have progressed far enough in your study program, you might be interested in thesis or project topics or jobs. Those you can also find there. We update them regularly. You will find how many supervision slots we have available, what topics are available, what are the requirements for topics, how do you apply, and other stuff. There are also some links to videos, unfortunately only German videos, that give you a little bit of an idea of what we've done in the past. Check them out, have fun if you like. You don't have to watch them. What? For the website or for the videos? Good. Teresa, note please to check later. It seems like the links don't work on slide number 5. Thank you very much. This will come in handy in another second when I talk about our GitHub repositories. But we'll get back to that in a second. So if you would like to join us, if you're looking for a Hiwi position, if you're looking for a job, if you just want to do a cool topic, go to the website or just write me an email. What are we doing this course? So already said that circular economy is the overarching theme of the TU Clausthal. So everything that we do here in teaching or research should somehow relate to this topic. Sometimes it does for some university research groups, sometimes it doesn't. And there are like very sophisticated and super specialized advanced master courses where you have a very specific topic, and then this is put into the context of the circular economy. But somehow the university forgot to create a course that teaches you really the basics of the circular economy and the underlying problems, why we need a circular economy. Like, what's the difference between weather and climate change? Or what are like circular economy properties? Why do we need a circular economy in the first place? What's good, what's bad about the circular economy, and further concepts? This is pretty much what we're trying to cover with this course, so that everyone who's finishing this course, and hopefully in the future, everyone who finishes his study program or her study program at the TU Clausthal has to do this course and is thereby certified, qualified to talk about those topics. Not just like, yeah, I heard about that. So that's pretty much the main intention of this course. So basic and foundational information. We'll talk about circular economy, sustainability. What are the sustainability goals? We'll also go into feedback loops and tipping points. And in the end, not just leaving you with all those information, but also looking at solutions. This is probably or hopefully what we'll spend most of the time with. or of this course with, so that it's not just like, yeah, those are all the problems and these are some facts, but what is it that you can do? What are things that can be done where we don't have to spend another 100 years of research because we don't have another 100 years. Now, what should you take away from that course? Pretty much the things that I'm trying to teach you would be nice if you can take them away. So at the end of this course, you should have those learning outcomes. At the end of the semester, there will be a evaluation where the university will send you or provide you evaluation questions. And one of those questions will be, did the lecturers outline what the learning outcomes of this course are? Hereby, we outline the learning outcomes of this course. I hope no one ticks the box that says, no, it wasn't clear what we are supposed to learn. So you should understand the concepts of the circular economy as well as all the foundational definitions. You should gain a basic understanding of what climate change entails, what is environmental pollution, but not just the definitions, but what does that mean? How are they connected? You should also be able to assess what's greenwashing, what's not. If someone gives you a cool new technology or a cool solution, says, hey, look, if we all do that, then we'll be safe. And then you should be able to assess, is that bullshit or not, at least on a high level. Of course, not in detail for everything, but at least on a high level, okay. And you should be able to talk about solutions that are outside of the normal things like circular economy that go beyond that direction, so that you at least have an idea, okay, there's more outside this realm of the circular economy, even though that is the overarching theme of our university. Questions so far? Very good. So then let's go to the lecture schedule. So we already updated everything, or more precisely, Teresa updated everything so that now it should fit the actual lecture content again. So today, as I said, org and intro, and then slowly but surely we go to the further introductory lectures where we talk about challenges of the 21st century, so climate change, environmental pollution. Then we look at what happened so far, like, because it's not really a new topic. We're talking about those challenges for quite a while, pollution or climate change. So what has happened so far? How far do we get? And then we get to the more interesting aspects, like how many resources do we actually have? How far do we get with that? Also, life cycle assessment, or LCA, something that Anand will cover, where you get a way to like quantify which option, if you have two options, is more sustainable or less sustainable than the other, by getting actual numbers, so that you don't have this, oh, this feels more sustainable, or are internal combustion engine cars more sustainable than electric vehicles or not? Like, there have been weeks, months, years of discussion about that topic, but in the end it's quantifiable. You can break it down to numbers. And then we'll go to circular economy, circular societies as another alternative, and other stuff that goes beyond those concepts. We'll also plan to have an invited lecture. I have someone in mind. Still have to get a final commitment for that invited lecture. And then we have a summary wrap-up lecture. And the exam Q&A is not the exam. It is your last chance to ask questions before the exam. So 28th of February, it's your chance, where I'm just here to answer all your questions before we move on to the exam, which is, I think, like 1 week later, but we'll get back to that in a second. So, course website, I hope with a link that might work. Okay, so then could someone maybe in the audience please verify on a different computer if that also is like a global problem, or is it a selective problem on a specific computer? Because I hope that we're capable of at least providing links.
If I may cut in there,
please.
I just checked, they should work, but if you just view them in a browser on GitHub, they don't work. You have to download the PDF for the links to work. So if you view it in a browser, download the PDF, and then they should work. But in the preview, it doesn't work.
Okay, so the PDF. Okay, very good. Mm-hmm. Did you watch it in the browser? Okay, good. So that clarifies it. So please don't rely on GitHub as a viewer. Please download the real PDFs. So that gives you the course website where you find all the relevant information. News and updates will be distributed via 2 channels. First, we have a public matrix room where you can also join, ask questions. We'll also put like reminders there. Why do we have a matrix channel and stud IP? Because we also have students from other universities. So we have the Digitech students who are enrolled in Australia and Clausthal, but we also offer this course essentially to everyone, not just people from those two universities. I think there should be some people from Göttingen in the audience. So they don't have access to our stud IP, so we opted for this public channel for communication purposes. So one of those two should work for you. You can also join both. All the slides will be uploaded to GitHub, so you can go to that link. You can also just follow the course website, and there you'll find a nice table that you can use to navigate between the different lectures. You will have the videos there and everything that you need. And if you have any questions, please use this very special purpose email address there, because there are many people working on that course. We have different universities participating. It makes us much easier if you use that email address, because then everyone who's working on this course can access that address and we can answer all of this way more efficiently. It's much better than sending 3 emails to Anand, Teresa, and myself, and then 3 of us answer you. That's not really efficient. So please use that email address. We cannot guarantee you that we can monitor all the other inputs. So please, 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 matrix or the email address. There's one question. Okay, no, Teresa just published or posted the link again. I think Tom raised a hand.
Yeah, nothing to ask. GitHub, of course, but where do we find the GitHub?
If you go, so Tom asked essentially, I have to repeat it so everyone can listen, where we can find those slides. I think if you go to stud IP as well as to the public matrix announcement, there should be a link in the announcement to the websites, if I'm not mistaken. Yep. So on stud IP announcements, news about this course, there should be something that makes you happy. If not, please get back to me. Good. Some parts of this course, if you look at this overview, have this MOOC, this green MOOCs label. MOOCs means Massive Open Online Course. Some of you who have a computer science background might be familiar with that concept from Coursera, EDX, or other online learning platforms like Udacity. They are very popular among computer scientists, but of course you can also use them for all kind of other stuff, where, let's say, Stanford is offering a course on autonomous driving or autonomous cars, or how to build, I don't know, large-scale networks or whatever. And essentially everyone around the world can enroll. There are short video content or video lectures together with some kind of textual additional information. And then after each short segment, there's some kind of a test whether you understood what you did there. It could be a coding test, but could also just be multiple choice questions or something else. And we will try to add such elements to this course. And you are our guinea pigs now. We tried to do that a little bit last semester, but then I got sick again, so that didn't really help. So you are probably the first real guinea pigs. And we would like to get all your feedback, what you think about those pieces that we pre-produced. So you have to survive a few more lectures, essentially until close to Christmas, before you first get to enjoy those nice pieces that we produced for you, and I hope that they help you. They are available via the course website, so we will give you access week by week to the content. And yeah, very curious if that makes this course better, worse, or if it doesn't really matter if we do live lectures or that content. The idea being essentially, I don't want to stand in front of this audience all the time. And I would like to also make these things that we produce here available to other people so that other universities can just take that content, import it into their own study program and customize it and use it without having to go through all the extra work that we have been done for at least a year now, and we're not halfway done. So essentially just giving those learning materials to people who want and who are not enrolled in a university. Because this course is designed to require no additional knowledge. You got your high school diploma, great, that's it. I don't care if you're a computer scientist, philosophy students, biologists, or whatever. Participate in this course, have fun, learn something, and then do something. So we have put those in a lecture schedule, but essentially you can use them asynchronous. You don't have to do them at the time where the lecture is supposed to happen. You can do them in the middle of the night, up to you. So it's asynchronous content. You can also do it from wherever you like to do it. And yeah, I hope that it's stable, the platform that we use. I hope that it works as intended, but if you find any glitches, problems, or anything, drop us an email or just tell me, then we'll try to fix it. We tested it, but we're just 3 people, so we don't know if it really works. Then we have, I think I already covered that by just saying what is written down there now. Very important might be the information in the box. So just to be clear, the MOOC content is not live. It is on the website. It's pre-recorded. You can do it yourself whenever you like. I won't be here on those dates where it says MOOC content. You can do and work for wherever you like on that day. Just for completeness, lecture and exercise, dates, where, when, how. Today, we're not going to do a real Q&A or exercise session because there haven't been any exercises. I talked about that. The exercises are individual works, no group submissions. So I can see a variety of individuals sitting here, so I would like to receive the same amount of submissions. There are some more people online that I'm very happy about, but I cannot count right now. Also, individual submissions. Submission of each exercise is mandatory. But even though that sounds really harsh, you pass by submitting an empty page. If you want to do the exercises, which is something we highly recommend, please do them. If you're like, I don't want to do this, or I don't care because I'm just here for the credits, submit an empty page, that's fine. We're experimenting with this style for a while now because we had courses with up to 300 students taking our lectures. And there was a lot of content to process, a lot of exercises to grade every week, especially from those people who didn't really give a damn about that course. So we said, okay, if you want to do that course, if you're here to learn, do the exercises, and we will grade them, and you will get proper feedback. If you don't want to do the exercises and just submit some kind of nonsense that keeps us busy, then don't do it. You are not forced to do it. You are all grown-up people. So the question was, what's the lecture, the exercise language? So you can submit them in German or English. Please, no other languages. Those are the only languages that we can like really ensure that someone can properly grade it. My Russian and my Arabic is a little bit rusty. My Spanish also, so don't rely on those one. So yeah, German and English is fine. All the content will be provided in English. Yep. We'll get to the exam in a second, but same applies to the exam. Like English and German is fine, except for if you want a German exam, you need to tell me up front because we need sufficient amount of German people doing the exam together with me. So essentially because I need like second examiners and so to also speak German. If I don't have that, I cannot offer German exams, but this is like a topic for later. All exercises should be submitted through the academic cloud under the following link. Everyone who has is part, no, I think even actually everyone who is not even a student in Lower Saxony can access that link. But Teresa could maybe confirm or deny that claim. But essentially, you just go there, you throw in your exercise sheet, and then you're done. It's essentially just a drop box kind of style thing. Throw in your submission, done. We decided to go for that option because not everyone can access our stud IP if they are not enrolled here. No email submissions because then we will drown and won't be able to make progress. And please always import your full name, your student email address, and your student ID so that we can track your submissions. If we cannot track your submissions because we received an anonymous empty page, then we cannot know that this was Tom's submission. So please, even if it's empty, make sure that we know who sent us an empty submission. Examination. In order to participate in the exam, you have to submit all exercises. Either proper exercise submissions or empty pages, but you have to submit all of them. No exceptions, except for doctor's notes or like serious family problems. If your fifth grandmother died in the subsequent weeks, then getting suspicious. But if you're sick, sure, you don't have to submit. But otherwise, there is no excuse to not submit an empty page in time. This is really simple. The exam is going to be most likely on the 6th or 7th of March 2024. And it's going to be most likely an oral examination. That's why I said I need a second German supervisor to also offer German exams. For written exams, it doesn't really matter, but for oral exam, I need that. We will decide probably in 1 or 2 weeks of how many students we have. Right now, I think about 50 students signed up, and we can handle that as oral exams. Hundreds of students might cause some problems. So 80% chance that we stay with oral examination. Some of the lecture content that you will see, either online or live here, has a so-called self-study star. That is content that we deem to be relevant or interesting, but that we cannot cover in detail in this lecture. So I will skip over that. And if you're interested in that topic, have fun studying that, but will not ask questions pertaining to those slides that have a self-study star. So we think it's helpful, have fun, but you don't have to.
Slides with the self-study star relevant for the exam.
To just repeat so that everyone can hear it, slides with a self-study star are not relevant for the exam, but they could probably help you to get extra points, because I would be super impressed if you have that extra knowledge. There are some literature entries here. You don't have to buy those books. You don't have to read those books. This is purely material that we partially used to create this lecture. There's also supplementary literature that is related to that topic. There are various levels of scientific quality or even non-scientific quality for those things. So this is a list of literature that is related to this topic, but you don't have to buy it. You don't have to read all of it. This is just like, I want to know more and want to go beyond what is in this lecture. To pass the exam and to learn a lot of interesting stuff, you just have to look at this lecture slides and watch the videos. You don't have to read those books, but if you want, have fun. Yeah, more literature, further resources, some of them having more an entertaining theme like podcasts, others being videos about very specific topics, or even teaching and learning materials from other universities, from the Climate University, from, I think it's Finland. So just additional extra material for you to consume if you are interested in this topic.